and welcome. Today I'm going to be reading some posts from r/Am I the A-hole, a subreddit dedicated to judging your interpersonal conflicts. So without any further introduction, let's get right into it. Am I the a-hole for not letting my friend bring her dog and her annoying boyfriend to my apartment? I, 24 female, recently moved to a new apartment, and from day one, I made it clear to my close friends that my landlord has a strict no pets policy with no exceptions. One of my best friends, Emily, 24 female, has a small dog that she takes everywhere like it's an extension of herself. I love dogs, but I don't want to risk fines, getting in trouble with my landlord, or even worse, getting kicked out over something that isn't even my pet. Emily, however, doesn't take no well. She keeps pushing and guilt-tripping me, saying her dog is tiny, well-behaved, and basically doesn't count because he's never caused problems elsewhere. She's even suggested sneaking him in since she's done it at other places, which just stresses me out more. I told her multiple times that I'm not comfortable with it, but she acts like I'm being dramatic. To make matters worse, her boyfriend, Jake, 26 male, is another issue entirely. He's rude, always mansplaining things to me, and constantly makes passive-aggressive comments about how I'm too much of a rule follower. He even joked about how no one actually gets evicted over a tiny dog, and that I should just chill. I already don't like having him around, so the idea of both him and a dog in my apartment at the same time is just no. Now Emily is acting like I'm picking a fight for no reason, and says that by banning both her dog and Jake, I'm making her feel unwelcome. I told her that wasn't my intention, but I'm not going to bend my boundaries just to keep her happy. She's been distant lately, and even hinted that she's reconsidering our friendship because she feels like I don't trust her. So now I'm wondering, am I the a-hole for refusing to let her bring her dog and annoying boyfriend over, or should I have just let it slide to keep the peace? You are totally not the a-hole. This is your apartment. You pay rent here. You live here. If she is really your friend, she should be respecting your boundaries. I've had people in the past, and I've had friends in the past that just invite themselves over, and I always just feel some sort of way about it. Of course I want my friends to come over, but also there's times where it's a mess. There are some landlords out there that take that shit seriously. If they say no dogs, that means no dogs. And also, how is she gonna invite herself and her dusty boyfriend over to your apartment? This is your home. This is your safe space. You don't want some dusty man all up in your business. How is she going to invite her boyfriend to your house? This is your apartment, not hers. It really doesn't seem like she respects you or the friendship, so you're definitely not the a-hole, and if anyone should be reconsidering this friendship, it's you. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after finding out only our side of the family were having to pay to attend? So my younger sister, Katie, 28 female, and her partner, Chris, 29 male, are getting married in April in Dubai. She has always wanted an extravagant wedding and is going all out on this. So the wedding is happening over 4 days. There's 70 guests, but they want us, me and my husband and parents, to stay in the same hotel with them and her bridesmaids, which I am maid of honor and groomsmen. The hotel is pretty luxe, so with the flights, it's costing us just over £2,900 each. Chris's family are also staying in the hotel, which includes his parents, 2 brothers, and his nephew. They are well off. I don't know exactly how much they earn combined, but I know Katie is on $88K, and she is the lower earner. But about 6 months ago, Chris and Katie came to us and asked to borrow $17,000 more. They stressed it would be a loan paid over time and said the venue had increased the price. Dubai law was very different, blah, blah, blah. They paid this money or they lost the lot. We believed them, and I offered to loan $7K and my parents the other $10K. So long story short, I have since found out through someone else that the $17K wasn't for the venue. It was for Chris's family to fly over there. They saw how much it was going to be, didn't want to pay, and refused to go. I asked Katie and she confirmed. So my first question was, if they were paying for his parents, why not pay for ours? I would never expect them to pay for me, even if we couldn't afford it. I had wished them well and stayed at home. And her answer was, because they can afford it. She got very defensive and said this was the fairest way she could think of doing it. It's hard enough planning for a wedding, etc. But when I asked if you genuinely thought this was the fairest way to do it, why did you lie about what the $17K was for and say it was for a venue issue? She couldn't answer. My parents are aware and very disappointed they lied, but have said they're still attending, but I have backed out. To me, it feels like my parents are being taken advantage of, and if they couldn't afford to pay for both our and Chris's parents and his brothers and nephew, then they should have just paid for the 4 parents or no one at all, and they especially shouldn't have lied about it. Katie and Chris keep calling and asking me to attend, saying I'm making them feel bad and ruining their day, but the whole thing just seems icky to me. I'm genuinely an open book, so be brutal. Am I the a-hole here? Should I just suck it up and go? Edit number 1, the repayment. My husband's brother is a solicitor, and he kindly drew up a contract and repayment plan for both myself and my parents, so the money will be paid off within 12 months of the wedding. If they don't stick to it, I have access to a free solicitor. Haha. I hope it wouldn't come to that, but that's why I have the papers for worst case scenario. Edit number 2, asking for the $7K back. I might be a soft touch, but asking for this back feels like a step too far. Like I'm mad as hell, but not enough to actively try to ruin their wedding a few weeks before, which it feels like, right now at least, is what they would be doing. But hey, give me a few more days to stew. Edit number 2. Thanks again for all the feedback, everyone. Just another quick FYI, a few people have asked about Chris's family, or seem to have the impression they're well off. I'm obviously not privy to their financial situation, but what the limited amount I do know from what Katie has said, Chris and his family grew up very poor. Before all of this, I'd always thought Chris was a lovely guy, but I had caught him in the odd but harmless white lie. Things like where he went to school, the type of house he grew up in, etc. I get the impression he is embarrassed or resentful of his upbringing, given their lack of money, and this is how he now values his self-worth, by how much money he has. My guess is when his family said they couldn't go, he panicked and worried people who would ask why they weren't there, and he wouldn't either have to say they couldn't afford it, or he couldn't afford to pay for them. And looking at his past trauma/experience, it's not for me to judge, but if they were the cause, it would just make me more mad that they didn't plan ahead and talk to his friends and family about what they could afford before booking Dubai. If it was such a deal breaker for his family to be there, they should have factored in the costs of paying for all parents to attend instead of thrusting a $3K per person bill at them and expecting them to rack up. I definitely don't think you're the a-hole. If anyone's the a-hole, it's them, especially lying to you about what the $17,000 is for. First of all, you have to pay to stay at this extravagant hotel. You have to fly all the way out to Dubai, and then they expect to loan $17,000 from you and your parents to pay for his parents, and they want to lie about it? See, they knew it was wrong. That's why they felt like they had to lie about it. I definitely understand why you wouldn't want to go to the wedding, but honestly, if you already paid for your share of the hotel and you paid for these people to be flown out there, I think you should just go and enjoy a nice vacation. I think you are being the bigger person by not asking for the money back, and it does sound like you have a pretty concrete loan agreement that they are going to pay you back. Your sister is definitely a little snake, so you got to be cautious of her in the future. Am I the a-hole for coming home upset after my boyfriend said he would cook and didn't? For context, my 23 female boyfriend, 26 male, and I live together. He's still studying online, and I work full-time, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. He is at home the entire day. I usually come home to cook, and I really don't mind at all. Today my boyfriend said he would cook, as I told him I was really hungry during work, so that the food would be done when I got home so I could just eat. I got home and nothing was done. I got irritated and just went straight to the kitchen and started cooking. My boyfriend saw that I was upset and said he was gonna cook, but he was waiting for the maid to come and wash the pots, and she only came at 3 p.m. In my head, I thought, why can't you just wash one pot? But I said nothing. Instead, I said, why couldn't you at least prepare the things I needed to cook, like cut the onions, peel the potatoes, etc. He goes on to say he didn't do it because where would he leave it while the maid cleaned? I was just shocked because firstly, that's the dumbest excuse anyone could come up with, and secondly, can you not use common sense? Anyway, long story short, he's mad at me and not talking to me and sleeping in the lounge. I'm so frustrated. How could he be mad at me for something he did? Am I the a-hole for getting upset with him because he didn't cook? It's literally my birthday tomorrow, and he's not even talking to me currently. All I wanted was to come home today and have the food ready so I could eat. I don't mind doing the cooking, but then don't say the food will be done, and when I get there, nothing has been done. I'm so frustrated currently, and he just makes it seem as though I'm the bad person, and I just feel like shit. Edit. For everyone asking about the maid, she only comes once a week to do a thorough clean. My boyfriend usually washes the leftover dishes during the day when I'm at work. This sort of makes me more mad because then he had no excuse to not wash the pot. I tried talking to him about it and he said, "But you knew I was going to do it. I was just waiting for the maid to be done." But that was not discussed. He then proceeded to say I chose to come home and get upset and be rude, and I said if he was in my shoes, he would understand why I was frustrated. He then said I was talking to my hoes. I was literally talking to my parents while I was waiting for the food to get done. And when I said he's being immature and ridiculous, he told me to F off and went back to sleep on the couch. Very, very hurt. He's never been vulgar towards me. I'm just at a loss for words, and I refuse to run after him. For everyone asking if we discussed the time, he only agreed to cook because I was really hungry today. The food would be done when I got home, and I could just go eat. You are not the a-hole. Oh my god. It sounds like weaponized incompetence coming from your boyfriend. He's home all day. He's studying online. I guess he goes to school. I'm gonna assume the classes aren't back to back to back all day. And you go out all day, you work Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm sure you're exhausted when you come home every day and you still cook for you and him. He can't do it for you one day. And then he turns around and gives you an attitude and yells at you and curses at you because you're upset about it, which you're 100% allowed to be upset about this. I think this is just a peek into the future that he's showing you now, and I really think it can only go downhill from here. So I think maybe you should take this as a red flag and really consider your relationship in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like the video, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!